Sweat now, shine later. My name is John. I am 16 years old. When I first saw blood on my hands, I smiled. It wasn't someone else's blood, it was mine. My legs were shaking. My heart was fast. My shirt was wet from sweat. I sat on the floor of the gym, holding my side. I thought I was going to faint, but I smiled. Why? Because that pain was something new. That pain was mine, and it meant something was changing inside me. I was not always like this. I was weak, slow, and always tired. I didn't like sports. I didn't like hard work. I liked my bed. I liked eating chips. I liked playing games on my phone. I thought people who ran in the rain were crazy. I thought lifting heavy things was stupid. Why work so hard? I always said, life is short. Enjoy it. That was me. That was who I used to be. But one day, something changed. No, it wasn't a sad story. Nobody laughed at me. Nobody said I was fat. Nothing big happened. I was just walking home and I saw an old man running. He had white hair. He was thin, but he was fast. He passed me on the street. I was walking. He was running. He smiled at me. I looked at him. And in that moment, something broke inside me. That old man had power. I did not. That old man was alive. I was just breathing. I went home and looked in the mirror. I saw my soft arms, my tired eyes, my round face. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. I looked and said, "Who are you?" I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I didn't want this. So the next morning, I put on my shoes and ran. No warm-up, no music, just me in the street. I ran 2 minutes and fell. My chest hurt. My legs burned. My back cried. People walked past me. A dog barked. I sat on the ground, angry and tired. But I smiled. That smile again. The same one I told you about at the start. That was the first day of pain. The pain came back the next day, and the next. My muscles screamed. My feet hated me. My stomach hurt. But I kept going. I ran every day. I ran when it was hot. I ran when it rained. I ran when my legs said no. And one day I didn't fall. I ran 5 minutes, then 10, then 20. I was still slow. I was still tired. But I was changing. I could feel it. That's the secret. Change is not fast. It is not easy. It does not come with magic. It comes with pain, the kind of pain that lives in your body and your mind. The kind that says, stop, but if you say no, then you grow. That's what I learned. That's what I want you to hear. No pain, no gain. It's not just a saying. It's real. I know, because I lived it. I remember the first time I did 10 push-ups. Real push-ups. Not the kind where your face hits the floor. My arms were on fire. My chest felt heavy. My breath was loud, but when I finished the 10th one, I laughed. I was on the floor, face red, arms shaking, but I laughed. Not because it was easy, but because I did it. The boy who couldn't climb stairs without rest did 10 full push-ups. After that, I started lifting things. Not big weights, just small ones. 2 bottles of water, a backpack with books, then bags of rice. My body was not ready. My hands were weak. My arms said no, but I didn't stop. I made a small gym at home. 1 chair, 2 bags, a rope. That was all. Every day I trained. Every day I felt pain. But the pain made me feel strong. Then came the day of the stairs. My apartment has 6 floors. Before, I always took the elevator. But that day, I looked at the stairs and said, "Let's go." I started slow. 1 floor, 2 floors. My legs felt like stone. My shirt was wet, but I didn't stop. I reached the top. My heart was loud. I sat on the floor and smiled. It was hard, but it was mine. Later, I changed how I ate. No more chips, no more soda. I started with eggs and fruit, then chicken and rice. I drank more water. My body didn't like it at first. I wanted sweets. I wanted fast food, but I said no. My new life was not easy, but I was learning. Every bite of good food was part of my fight. It was not fun, but it was worth it. People started to notice. "You look different," they said. "Are you working out?" I smiled and nodded, but they didn't know the truth. They didn't know about the pain, the small wins, the nights I cried from muscle cramps, the mornings I didn't want to move. They didn't see that. They only saw the change. But I knew the real story. I lived it. One morning I woke up and didn't feel tired. That was strange. I was used to waking up sore and slow, but this time my body felt light. My legs didn't hurt. My back didn't cry. I stood up and smiled. I went to the mirror and looked at myself. My face looked sharper. My arms looked stronger. My eyes were bright. I didn't look like the old me. I looked like someone who worked hard, someone who fought pain and kept going. That day, I went for a run. The air was cold and the sky was gray. I ran through the park. I passed people walking their dogs. I passed people sitting on benches. I didn't stop. I felt fast. I felt free. My feet moved like they were dancing. My chest didn't burn. My breath was calm. I looked at the trees, the sky, the street, and I felt proud. I was not the same man. I was stronger. I was better. I was alive. But the pain came back that night, a sharp one in my leg. I sat down and held it. The old fear tried to come back. "Stop now," it said. "It's too much." For a moment I listened. I looked at my shoes. I looked at my towel. I almost gave up. But then I remembered the stairs, the food, the rain, the fight. I said no. I took deep breaths. I stretched. I rested. But I didn't quit. I never wanted to quit again. A few weeks later, I signed up for a local race, just 5 kilometers. Not much, but to me it was big. It was my first test. The day came. I stood with others at the start line. Some wore special shoes. Some looked very strong. I looked down at my old shoes. I felt small. But I closed my eyes and told myself, "You belong here." The whistle blew, and we started to run. I didn't look back. I didn't stop. I ran like I had trained. I didn't win the race, not even close. But I finished. And when I crossed the line, I raised my hands in the air. My legs were shaking. My heart was flying. I was proud. I sat on the ground, smiling with tears in my eyes. Not because of the race, but because I knew how far I had come. From lazy days and junk food to early mornings and cold runs, from weak to strong. That day, I felt like a winner. After the race, I wanted more. I started jumping rope. I added longer runs. I lifted heavier things. My legs were tired. My arms burned. My body was sore again, but I smiled through it. The pain was not scary now. It was a sign that I was changing again, a sign that I was doing something hard, and I liked that. One day, a young man at the gym came to me. He looked nervous. His arms were thin. He asked, "How did you start?" I smiled. I saw my old self in him. I said, "I just started." I was weak too, but I didn't stop. He listened carefully. I told him to feel the pain and keep going. He smiled and nodded. That day, I felt proud in a new way. That night, I sat alone in my room. I thought about my journey, from lazy days to race day, from junk food to healthy meals, from fear to strength. I felt quiet, not sad, not loud, just calm. My heart was still. My mind was clear. For the first time in years, I felt peace, real peace, the kind that only comes after pain. The next step was discipline, not just with food or exercise, but with time. I made a plan. Wake up early, train, eat right, work, sleep, repeat. Every day the same. It was not fun. Some days I wanted to stay in bed. Some nights I wanted to eat ice cream. But I said no. I remembered the pain. I remembered the first run, the first fall, the first win that kept me going. I didn't want to go back. People started asking me for advice, at work, at the gym, even online. "How do you stay strong?" they asked. I always gave the same answer. "Pain," I said, and not running away from it. Some looked confused, some smiled, some didn't believe me. But it was the truth. I didn't have a secret. I didn't have a trick. I just kept going when it hurt, and that made all the difference. I saw old photos of myself one day. I was sitting on the couch with snacks in my hand. My face looked tired. My eyes were dull. I felt sad for that version of me. Not because he was fat, not because he was slow, but because he didn't believe in himself. He didn't know how strong he could be. I wanted to reach into the photo and tell him, "Get up. Just try." One weekend, I went hiking with some friends. We climbed a long hill. It was hot. The sun was strong. The road was steep. But I didn't feel tired. I walked with power. I laughed with my friends. I looked at the trees, the sky, the rocks. I was full of energy. At the top, I looked down at the land below. I took a deep breath. I felt proud. The boy who once hated stairs now loved the climb. That night, I thought about something strange. The pain had changed. It was not just in my body anymore. It was in my heart too, but in a good way, a strong way. I didn't fear pain now. I saw it as a teacher. It taught me who I was. It showed me my limits, and then helped me break them. That's why I always say, no pain, no gain. Because for me, it's more than words. It's my life now. I live a different life. I wake up with purpose. I move with energy. I speak with confidence. I'm not perfect. I still get tired. I still feel pain. But now I know what to do with it. I listen to my body. I take care of it. I rest when I must. But I never stop, because I know the truth. Growth comes with pain, and I welcome it every time. Sometimes I walk past the old places I used to sit, the fast food shop, the park bench, the bus stop where I waited instead of walking. I stop and smile, not because I miss that life, but because I left it behind. I changed, step by step, day by day, with sweat, pain, and small wins. Those places are part of my story, but they don't define me anymore. Friends still ask me why I keep going. You're already fit, they say. Why push so hard? I tell them. It's not just about muscles. It's about the mind, the spirit, the fight. I don't train for looks. I train to stay strong inside. Life is hard sometimes. Pain comes in many ways. But when you train your body, you also train your heart. You learn to keep going. One time I fell again while running. I hurt my leg. It swelled. I couldn't run for a week. I was upset, angry, but I didn't break. I used the time to stretch, to read, to rest. I told myself, this is part of the journey. Pain doesn't stop me now. It teaches me. It shapes me. That fall didn't make me weak. It made me ready for more. So, here I am, telling you my story. Not because I'm special, not because I'm strong, but because I started with nothing. I had no plan, no coach, no tools. I only had pain and the will to move through it. That was enough. If you feel weak, tired, or stuck, remember this: no pain, no gain. It's not just about the body. It's about becoming who you're meant to be. It's a good way to practice English every day. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories.